Have you ever heard about resin filling in crystal bracelets? Many people think that if a crystal has resin inside, it must be fake. But in reality, it's actually a very common processing technique. So, what exactly is resin filling? Resin filling, also called resin impregnation, is a process where transparent resin is infused into the cracks or cavities of a natural crystal to make its structure stronger, smooth out the surface, and make it easier to cut, polish, or drill. It's one of the most standard steps in gemstone processing. During formation, natural crystals often develop fine cracks or inclusions. If polished as is, they can easily break. The purpose of resin filling is not to create fakes, but to strengthen and stabilize fragile crystals. In other words, it's a protective process to make the stone more durable. Let's take rose quartz as an example. Rose quartz from Madagascar often contains cotton-like inclusions and many cracks, which makes its structure relatively loose. If you try to cut or polish it directly, it tends to break easily. That's why factories use high-pressure resin infusion to penetrate the cracks and stabilize the crystal. This helps prevent damage during processing and increases the yield rate. On the other hand, Mozambique rose quartz has a denser structure and higher transparency, with almost no inclusions or cracks. Even if you try to add resin, it won't penetrate. That's why high-quality Mozambique rose quartz is usually in its natural resin-free state. So, which types of stones are commonly resin-filled? Stones that are fragile or have many cracks, such as aquamarine, tourmaline, kyanite, rhodochrosite, lepidolite, and green phantom quartz, are often treated with resin for reinforcement. In contrast, dense and transparent stones like quartz, citrine, and amethyst rarely need resin treatment. There are also different levels of resin filling. Light filling. A small amount of resin is added to find surface cracks for stability. Moderate filling. The entire crystal is soaked in resin to prevent cracking. Heavy filling. Crystal fragments are mixed with resin and solidified together. How can you tell if a crystal has been resin filled? Under light, the surface may show a faint plastic-like shine. Cracks may appear sealed with something clear, and the surface may feel smoother or less cool to the touch. If these signs are present, resin filling is possible. But for accurate results, it's best to have the stone tested by a gemological lab. Resin filling does not change the crystal's mineral composition. It contains no radiation, and it's perfectly safe to wear. It's not fake. It's simply a method to protect and preserve the stone's beauty. Once you understand this process, you can judge quality and price more calmly, and find the crystal bracelet that truly suits you. Do you enjoy learning real gemstone facts like this? Follow me, and let's explore the true and fascinating world of crystals together.